Love, 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 love. Hello, welcome beautiful souls back to this channel of mine. I is in a very singy mood, as you can tell. I is not quite sure what I shall be sharing. I just know that for a long time now, my intuition has been urging me, pulling me to share more of myself, of my journey so far, not as in a way of anyone is better than thou, or I think, or I feel, or I intend to sound like that I know better than anyone else, because that's not the reason for any of this. It's merely, I know through the past 3 years, where the past few years, I've been in self-development for a very long time, but the past few years where I have really immersed myself in the world of self-development and personal growth, spirituality, all that kind of stuff, all those amazing topics that I love so much, that listening to other people, their journeys, their stories, their experiences has really helped awaken parts of me, have helped me release stuff that I didn't realize I was holding on to. Some of it for 25 years, it was a really big one, which I may or may not go into. It's a subject that is may not be for the faint-hearted to hear, and if I do share it, it is with the intention that, again, it may resonate with whoever comes across this. So I'm not going to share this. I'm literally going to put this out on the YouTube channel that I recently set up, and whoever finds it, finds it. That is the intention I put out, that whoever comes across this is open, willing and ready to come across this, to listen, to hear, to feel the energies coming through the words I speak with the sharings that I offer, for those whom it resonates, and for everyone to leave feeling uplifted and empowered and on the way to realign and reconnecting, remembering who you truly are at your soul level. And all of this is said as it's stuff that I feel is true for me on this part of my journey in this incarnation. It's not going to be for everyone, and that is fine. We're not all made for everyone. My godson, a couple of years ago, my godsons I love deeply, if they ever get to watch any of this, but one of my godsons, when I was first being more open with this stuff that I've kind of been hiding about myself for a very long time, I started to be a little bit more open with the fact that I'm into crystals and what some other people say, this woo-woo stuff. I love all this woo-woo stuff, but I started to share sort of about crystals and things that I had been feeling, and the reaction that I got from him back then was quite a strong reaction. And his reaction was, "Oh, you're so random, Crew. So random. Why do you have to be so random?" And I was aware, I could feel that wasn't a projection of anger towards me. It was a projection of how he was feeling inside. And we often do this. We often, because of our past experiences, whether this life or past lives, whether the energies that we bring with us from our ancestors, as this stuff is generational. There's all sorts of studies on these particular things. And for anything that I do say at some point in the future, I am looking to set up, I'm researching at the moment, a a place, which is the trouble I'm trying, what I'm trying to find, what I'm struggling to find at the moment, is a place where I can go on and have like a bit like one of the popular ones out there, where you can have your social media, all your websites and stuff under one sort of page, all your contact details, that kind of stuff. You may or may not know what I'm speaking of, but I won't do any advertisements on this channel as much as possible, as I'm not quite sure how I stand legally with that kind of stuff, so I won't, just in case. But there's many out there. One that keeps coming across my path, and one that I have actually started using, which I believe is actually on it might actually be on the YouTube About page anyway, so you'll be able to see what I mean from there. But you basically share all your social media or your contact details under one place, and you can share just one link with the people that are interested, rather than having to share all these different details and stuff, which is a really great idea. But at the moment, what I'm looking for is I'm trying to find something along those lines, but where all the different things that I found beneficial for me on my journey, all the other people that I've listened to, the techniques, modalities that I've used, practitioners that I come across, articles that I've read, YouTube videos that I've come across, that if anything like that I found beneficial for me, I want to try and put into one place, and then share that one link as like these are the things that I don't want to say things, that's come a better word than things, but these are the things that I've found that have been most beneficial or have helped me on my journey some way, shape or form. So therefore others might find them beneficial. They may not, but they might find them beneficial too. So I'm looking at researching that. So at the moment, all these things I'm going to speak of, I will at some point put on this link when I am able to do so. So that's one thing. Tangent. Let's go back. I will go into tangents as well, but I always aim to come back and close each tangent off before I completely close the video. So let's see if we can do that. And I do believe as well, YouTube only allows you to, or this the video, the phone that I'm recording on, I believe only allows me to record, I think it's about 26 minutes or 30 minutes. I have to try and get the video under that if I can. If not, I'll do a second part. Brilliant. So yeah, all this stuff that all the things that I share are what I believe on my journey, how I feel about my journey, myself, what I feel to be true for me. Doesn't mean to say it's going to be true for everyone else. Everyone is on their own journey, having their own experience, and that's all fine. I feel what resonates most true for me is that no one is actually fixed or broken. And I have someone actually calling me now. I'll have to come back to them. So I'll come back to you after I've done this. I'm sending you love though. Yeah, I don't believe anyone. I feel and believe from the mind, feel from my heart that no one actually is broken or needs fixing. And I feel this as for my journey, and again, this is just for my journey, so maybe I shouldn't say no one else. I know that I'm not broken and don't need fixing. For me, that was something I came across saying about, the healing trap you can kind of fall into when you kind of first come across this healing stuff. You can get caught very much in that I need healing, and so you can just continuously try and find ways to heal yourself. But if you feel like you need healing, then you're never really going to be whole, is kind of how I feel. And I said it's just for me, so I tend to use when I will be doing sessions with people in the future. Oh, and the sun's just come out, hitting me with some beautiful rays. Thank you. I call them wellness sessions, as my inclination and my intention is for them to help, people's well-being, to help them to come to align and connect with a sense of well-being. So I'll call them wellness sessions. Is what well-being sessions is what resonates more for me, rather than necessarily healing. But anyway, again, I digress. So there's no judgment to anyone else that and the words that they use. It's just me on my journey and how I feel it to be true for me. So yeah, I do believe that I do feel that that I am a soul currently residing in this physical body that you see before you now, and that my soul has past lives, that my soul has incarnated other past lives on Earth, but also other past lives on other planets. And I said a few years ago, if I was going to say what I'm going to say now, I've always believed in there's something more, that there's more than just what we can see with our physical eyes, or we can hear with our physical ears, or we can touch with those sort of five senses. For as long as I can remember, it's taken me a long time to be able to share this kind of stuff, because when you walk around in a certain way, or just experience the world in a certain way, you believe that to be normal. You grow up thinking that's normal, and everyone else interacts with the world the same way, or experiences the world the same way. And I know now that that's not entirely true, as everyone is individual, everyone is different, everyone's on their own journey, and so not everyone does experience and interact with the world the way that I do, and I don't the same is with other people. So my godson, who was saying about being so random, and so why'd have to be so random, it was quite angry, and there was an anger behind it, what he was saying. And I kind of got that as in, maybe he was realizing that actually he was different, and that wasn't sitting well with him at that particular time. It's different now. A few years have passed, and that was only the outburst. But I didn't, instead of biting with what he said and getting defensive, I felt that wasn't actually directed at me. It was just a projection of how he was feeling about himself, or about something in his life, and he was projecting that on me just because of what I said. But like I said, I basically told him what I should say, that it's good to be, everyone's an individual, it's good to be unique. As much as I do feel that we are all connected, somewhere along the line we're all connected to the same energy field, biofield, quantum field, unity consciousness. I do feel that all of that is true, but in this human, if you like, on this earth experience, we are also individual, and we're all very unique. Our journeys that we have are very unique. I know the journey that I'm on is very unique, and if some of the people that I have known for a very long time, for different other areas of my life, see this, then they're possibly gonna think I'm a little bit well out there. But I have always been a bit out there, to be honest. I've always been a little bit individual and unique, from the group mentality, shall we say. I've always felt that way. I just kept a lot of it hidden and suppressed, because I felt that's like what I needed to do. That's how I felt I would be accepted and liked. And now I'm coming more to more that it's okay to be me. It's okay to be exactly who I am. And now I know more about who I am. At my core, I'm just a being of love. I may have shared that previously in the previous video, I don't know, but again, I'm just a being of love, and that's the vibration, that's the feeling that I get whenever I connect to my heart space, and when I come back to my inner world, my inner self, my own intuition, my energy. That's who I am, and that's the vibration that I hold, and that's all of this stuff kind of. Every time I discover a little bit new piece about myself, or awaken to a new realization about myself, my being in some way, whether it's this life, past life, ancestrally, whatever. I'm able to sort of reflect back to my childhood in this life, and just who I've always been. I kind of look at like my younger versions of me, and who I've always been, how I always felt back then, and how I interact with the world, how I saw the world, how I saw other people, how I felt other people, and it all makes sense. It's kind of like all these little things, that the way that I was, and the way I interacted with the world, the way others interacted with me, things I experienced, are all like little preparation steps for me here and now. And I believe that to be true with everyone. I feel that to be true with everyone. Oh, again, ever that's true to be me on my journey. That's been too true for everyone else, but that's, yeah. So 15 minutes in, and I haven't shared anywhere near as much as I was going to. I just feel like I just have this, for ages, have this energy that, and other people have told me as well, sometimes when I have spoken to other people and I have shared some stuff, here it goes, I have shared some stuff that they're able to feel an energy that kind of comes, that comes with the words. And I know also sometimes is when I speak, and sometimes I've met I'll explain about that in that. It's a shaman thing, a shamanic technique. Is opening up your Warakacha. It just kind of like your energy, protective energy bubble around yourself. I hadn't done that, so now I have. I haven't had a sacred space, which is another a shamanic technique, ritual, whichever the right word is, as I have stepped onto the shamanic medicine wheel. So I use this stuff daily. I find it very, very beneficial, very beautiful. And I think I might have shared before that it feels right for me. It feels like coming home with some of this stuff for me. So anyway, I digress, as I do. I'm going to remember where I was. Oh, being of love, that's it. So each time I come to this little sort of awakening about myself, realizations, epiphanies, if you like, in this through some of the techniques and modalities and stuff that I've experienced or I've tried out, it kind of, there's always like a little realization, go, oh yeah, well I used to do this and I did that, or that's how I was. So kind of that makes sense as to why that way is it, you know, why now I know these little things to be true for me because of the way that I've always been, the way that I've always behaved, the way that I've always felt the world, the way I've always had the people interact with me. So when I speak, sometimes not all the time, or maybe all the time, maybe just I'm more aware of it sometimes than others, I don't know, but there are times when I'll speak and I'll share certain things, and recently lots of people have said this. There's been different people in different areas, different some people I've known for ages, some people I've only just met, who will say the same thing, that there's an energy that kind of comes through, and it does with everyone, that words are powerful, and what the words we speak, because we're imparting a part of who we are, part of our energy in the words that we say. And as I am so aware of energies, again, this is something I have always been aware of, I just did not know how aware, or how just how aware I was of my own energy, or even other people's energies, mainly so much. And again, like I said, because I was born that way, to me it was normal. And I know now that it's not the same way for everyone. I think you know, that's thinking. Let's leave the thinking there. I'll take away the thinking. So yes, all these little realizations and epiphanies and stuff, like I say, are just like, okay, all these different kind of things have happened. These are the things, these are the interactions I've had. Like, for example, I've always had, for as long as I can remember, I've always had people. Very easily to make friends. I put people, people say they feel at ease around me. I'm able to make people feel comfortable, and people share their deepest, darkest stuff with me, and I don't find that weird. Other people might, but I don't find that weird. People are always very honest. People always tell me that I can see past there, and I can see past. And I say it's not so much like with my physical eyes, with my third eye, with my heart. I'm able to connect with people in such a way that I can see past the facade that a lot of people tend to put on, the mask that a lot of people tend to put on, with whatever kind of mask that is, and get through to their core, their soul, their highest potential. So I always see the good in others, sometimes to my own detriment, but that's just who I am, is who I was born to be, at least in this life. I think it's probably who I've been for my beings for quite a while. I think it's part of my core vibration, of wherever it is that originates from, as I do believe that, like I said, I've incarnated on other planets you know, in past lives, I feel that to be true for me. I don't entirely know exactly where my soul originates from, but I did hear someone saying a while ago, saying about how they believe that really we're all star seeds. That's the word that I was going to find challenging to say, as it kind of makes you sound a little bit whoa. And a few years ago, someone said that to me. Well, I've always been interested in this otherworldly stuff, spiritual, you know, extraterrestrials, all this kind of other stuff. And furthermore, starseed to extraterrestrials has a lot of other stuff attached to it, really. But all these sort of other things that not everyone else is into, I've always been very open to. Through things I've heard from my families, is that spiritualism, you know, that kind of thing runs very heavily through my ancestral bloodline. From my family, so I've grown up hearing stories of all sorts of ghosty kind of things and otherworldly experiences. I've had a few myself. That runs through my family, so I've kind of grown up. So I was always very open to it anyway. And then I'm very, you know, exploring. I love learning, exploring, discovering. It's a passion of mine. It's part of who I am. And then I do that to share with other people. So yeah, I'd have people come up and they tell me the deepest dark secrets. I'd be out sort of on nights out with friends, and we'd start chatting to someone, and people would say to me, "I've never shared this. I've never told anyone else this, but I feel at ease with you." And the only reason I say this again is not to be like better than anyone else. It's just so maybe more of an understanding and clarity about the energy. And also it's just for me, it's much all of this is just as much for me to hear myself say it and admit it to myself, as when we speak something, we write something down, our brain absorbs it in a different way than if we just think it. Again, I don't know where I got that from, but I remember hearing that from someone else. Some of this stuff that I'll say being part of stuff that I feel is true for me, but it will be on the basis of generally of lots of other things that I've heard from other people within self-development, within business, within spirituality, whatever the topic is, that have shared their journeys or their modalities or things that I've experienced, and you kind of like amalgamate it and take all these different things that I've heard or experienced, and kind of then this is kind of my truth that I'm sharing. But there will be other things that I'll say on other people. I won't always be able to credit, as I don't remember where I got that from. Sometimes I just hear these things, but I'll do a lot of this stuff where I'm listening to a podcast or listening to a video while I'm doing other things. I like to multitask. It's how I operate. Again, that's a very true thing for me. I have always been the girl that was doing my homework, watching TV, lots of pens and papers. People I know that would actually agree with that as well. My dad never understood, bless him, love you daddy, daddy-o, would never be understand but why I'd have the TV on, why I'd be doing my homework, and I could be holding conversation at the same time. I could always be, my brain would be able to operate doing two or three things kind of at once. But I have found that can be very superficial. I have found that I do need to sometimes focus when I'm putting my energy into something, that it's good to sort of focus on that one thing, put the energy, get that done, and then move on to the next thing. So I am kind of learning more about myself as I go, which is amazing. This is what it's all for, is just to learn more about myself, discover more about myself. My video might run out shortly, and I've just been waffling on about me. So yeah, I heard that our brains take it other way. So part of this is also for me to absorb it in a different way as I'm speaking it and hearing it, as well as sharing this with other people. But yeah, so the starseed, coming back to that, close one subject down. Starseed, come back to that. There's someone that said, I was listening to a podcast and they said about, and I really like this quote, that we're on a biological spaceship floating through space, which we are. Earth is biological in the sense that it is a living planet, and we are floating. We are currently living, residing on it and floating through space. So really it is a biological spaceship. So really, in that case, if you look at it from that perspective, because it's all about perspective, we're all star seeds, as we're all living on this biological spaceship floating through space. And I really like that. That really resonated with me. If I've come across these quotes again at some point, then obviously I will credit the people and I'll put them on this one-stop shop of things I have found beneficial for me along this journey. And I will share that at some point on this YouTube channel when I have actually found a platform to use this on. If anyone knows any platforms, please share in the comments. That would be amazing. And I have found out that, you know, universe and spirit. Oh, it's just flashed at me. So I think at some point it's going to end. Yes, it is. I may need to do another video.